Welcome to Ofofo Studio. My guest for today is Yuvraj. Yuvraj is founder and CEO at Creataverse. It's a venture studio that houses founders from all across the globe. Welcome
Yeah.
to the show, Yuvraj.
Thanks for having me, Angad.
Yeah. So,
Pleasure.
what does Creataverse help founders with?
So, I'm a first generation entrepreneur,
Okay.
first time founder.
Hmm.
So, whatever I found as problem statement for myself when I ventured out
Right.
from corporate career to entrepreneurship, I found there were many problem statements for a first generation entrepreneur, first time founder to figure out things on themselves,
Right.
which is um, high risk
Hmm.
from a founder's capital point of view.
Okay.
And then comes if you take too much time to get the product market fit right,
Hmm.
then there is a chance that you will lose out completely.
Right.
And given the scenario in country like India,
Hmm.
so there is less chances for them to come back and build the next ventures because they may not have the support system.
Right.
So this I'm talking about in 2012, 13, 14 times.
Hmm.
So we decided, okay, we have to solve because we have already went in that journey and learned many things.
Right.
So capital, access to market, access to talent, access to proven methodologies, playbooks, way to do things in the internet venture space, tech venture space, that those are the things offered by Creatorverse.
So when you say we, it was you and.
So when I say we, I mean me and the organization I have built.
Okay.
And it's also about people, well-wishers, who wants this organization to be successful, right?
Right.
They are behind as a invisible force
Correct.
to make such bold initiatives to become successful. So it is not only one man army. So
Correct.
therefore, I use we, including their support that I am getting to
Mhm.
make the founder successful.
How do you get other people to buy into your vision? Like it's a,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good question. So vision is something that it's not uh, available for others to understand that easily.
Correct.
Okay. So when I see a kind of trend in the market, it is about making great impact or a high valuable stuff in the market. Nobody thinks it's going to work first time.
Right.
And vision is all about saying the purpose
Mm.
that you have taken in your life, irrespective of it's going to give you material success or not.
Right.
So therefore, beyond your material motivations,
Hmm.
what is that why you wake up every day
Hmm.
and put yourself in a situations that others do not really want to?
Right.
When you talk about it with authenticity, it's not about talking, living with authenticity on those values. Definitely, people resonate because
Hmm.
many people have this ambition that they should also would have do this contribution,
Right.
but for some reasons like fear of failure, fear of unknown, constraints that they have, they could not do it in their life.
Mm.
But when they see someone has taken already steps and doing it,
Right.
I've always seen that they come forward and be there, offer their small help
Correct.
required. So vision is not just selling
Hmm.
things. Vision, I'm not selling something and asking them to buy it.
Hmm.
I'm stating why this organization exists. What is the purpose of this organization exists? Why I am leading it, going through all the hurdles any entrepreneur has to go through to make it work.
Hmm.
Then there is always a feedback comes.
Correct.
People will resonate and say that do it, we will do whatever we could do in their capacity. That's how things will happen in the market.
Okay, okay. But okay, the problem that you set out to solve, how did you arrive on that? How did you come to the conclusion that this is something that I need to be solving?
Okay, so let's take a more refined problem statement. A founder comes out, he's a business savvy founder,
Hmm.
and he has been working in a particular industry or a domain.
Correct.
Let's take financial services domain,
Right.
where I also come from. And they've been seeing customer sentiments and they understand the customer. They know that this is a customer pain point. My organization where I'm working for is not ready to solve because there is no big returns out of it. But there is a market that if I solve it, I can create my own value or wealth in it. When they come out and they say that I do not have expertise on arriving a technology solution, but I know this problem is real.
Correct.
Okay, I know this problem is real. I know if we solve this problem, we are going to unlock a potential high, make an impact or create a value for all its stakeholders.
Right.
When we see that there is a proof that problem is real, there is solid evidence that it is not going to be taken up as a market niche by any company, and this is going to grow. Then definitely we go forward and say that, okay, we will give you whatever you want, which you do not have. If you are a business savvy founder, you do not have a engineering, design engineering, and go to market and ability to test and prove it. Let's do it together. So let's do it together is is the biggest because they want the first believers.
Right.
They go around pitching to many people saying that somebody will also understand what I'm talking about.
Correct.
If we could genuinely listen to them, and if there is a proof, if we find we could not really understand, then we always help them to go and do the right kind of research to come back. Correct. With the evidence. If there is a evidence and there is a founder problem market fit, that's the first stage before even product coming into shape or coming into existence. If we find a founder market fit is there, he's talking about his own domain and which he understands deeply. Right. There is a sufficient authority that he hold on that particular domain. Right. Then we work with them. Okay. We start working with them. That's how things take to the next steps.
Right. But what about yourself? How did you think that this was a problem that you personally had to solve?
Okay, why I have to solve? Because when I came into the market and went looking for help from capital providers,
Right.
I met so many different diverse people. They were all very fearful or scared about supporting a first-time founder.
Okay.
The reason they had is
What was the idea that you were approaching them with? Was it the same one?
So no, in 2014, I built a food tech company.
Okay.
It was called as Hungry Bells.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that I need a lot of learning, so I took help from organization like Thai Bangalore chapter.
Right.
To prepare myself in 2012, 13, and all those times when you were also in that organization. Yeah. Then with confidence that if we make the right product, we would get support by this might be a naive understanding about the startup ecosystem. Correct. Then I'm talking about. But the reality is the support only offered where there is a high success rate.
Right.
It's obvious.
It's obvious.
Okay.
Yeah,
Today it sounds very obvious because the risk anyone would like to share depends on the potentiality of a particular team figuring out themselves, then giving helping hand or doing along with that
Correct.
team. Because nobody has a bandwidth, nobody wants to get their hands dirty. and solve the problems with one or two member founding team
Yeah.
trying to solve themselves.
Right.
So I clearly it showed a space,
Right.
white space.
Hmm.
So clearly it was obvious that though there is a huge startup journalism which brings many people, many stories out in the form of media content, but if you really ask them from how they got their first few customers, how they got their first check, how they got their first employee,
Right.
how they got their first product right.
Right.
So they would have, everybody would have iterated a lot of stories to talk about that. So in my case, the first venture failed.
Right.
It failed for various reasons. We can call out many reasons for it. It's not about the quality of product or the team or anything. It's about their inability to find the support system as early as possible.
Got it.
The ones who were able to sustain themselves for a little longer, to get the context correct with the customer, their target audience, they and the time at which they got the support from capital,
Right.
they were able to take the next wave of growth.
Correct.
So it's all about in the game, you have to sustain yourself till you have the fitment right.
Right.
The product market fitment right. Once you have a data to prove that your customers are buying your product, your services, your solution, they are liking it, then the support system is going to automatically mobilize itself. Correct. To come towards you because they want the success, share in the success more than share in the failure.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Right.
So therefore, so for the founders to have that first leg, 0 to 1 leg, right? Like in the Peter Thiel book, which is very popular bestseller in the world, right? Many things have been quoted about 0 to 1. So I have gone through that 0 to 1 journey and also learned those lessons that which is a common best practices in the 0 to 1 journey. Right. Okay. When we started applying, instead of applying again only for the venture I'm building, why don't we apply and create a momentum of learning for everybody else? Correct. Okay, so it's like I got inspired by design studios in the world, a lot of research and innovation labs in the world, how Bangalore kind of a startup ecosystem moving from pure internet commerce into a more core enterprise product or deep tech products. So these are also external factors that were supporting to where we are today. Correct. So we took up the journey. That's where we solved, okay, this is a problem I have to solve, the question that you asked. If I'm not, who else? There might be many people solving the same. Let's collaborate with them. Right. But one person or two-person or three-person may not be sufficient. Correct. If Bangalore startup ecosystem or India startup ecosystem is third largest in the world, from a sheer number of it, from a quality of exits that is given by Indian startup, still we are not in the top 5 or 3, right? Absolutely. So if we really have to produce great valuable exit for the capital that is coming here, then founders moving out to Singapore, moving out to Dubai, moving out to US and exit from their journey there. So it's always I found when challenges are taken, right, it will make you stronger and grow you stronger. Right. This challenge was taken, and we were able to fairly do it okay and well so far in that. Yeah. And there are, again, we are collaborating with many partners saying that you do this part of it. Right. I will do this part of it. I'll do tech well. Let me do the tech acceleration better. Yeah. You are good at GTM, you do the GTM. So we have always like-minded people working together. Correct.
So hypothetically, if your previous startup, Hungry Bells, if it had come to Creataverse, like as a company that needed some help, what do you think are some things that could have been applied just to
So
Hungry
just
Bells?
going back to the 2014 15.
Hmm.
Okay. So the attracting talent
Hmm.
with limited resources
Right.
is a huge struggle for
Obviously,
any
yeah.
founder, right? Because you are taking risk for your own materialization of your own vision and mission. Why would your immediate family members
Correct.
or your juniors or your colleagues are going to join? There are lucky founders who have found co-founders who could take that same level of risk and live the life of a founder.
Right.
But usually the first team members, they come with a limited. If the founder is not from a business family,
Hmm.
okay, founder is not from a business family, is not a second generation, third generation, or a fourth generation business family. They have not seen how well the finances are managed in a more ambiguous, uncertain
True.
ways if
Yeah.
it's not like a stable salaried income.
Hmm.
So the employees that you would get, I'm not just calling employees, the colleagues and peers that you get, you cannot sustain that organization.
Right.
So now I have created an organizations which they can rely, founders can rely as their own team members,
Hmm.
always there to troubleshoot, solve the problems that they would, even if before they anticipate, we
Right.
tell them this is coming.
Right.
Okay, this is going to be the next challenges you would be face. Get ready for it.
Hmm.
So it's a lot of foresight that we could give to the founder saying that, okay, when this is how your system is getting feedback from market,
Hmm.
get ready for these challenges.
Right.
We have already prepared them for the best cases as well as worst cases.
Correct.
So I would have done that for my startup if I go back in time and do it.
Right. 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 But you could still apply to it, right? Like, why not just resurrect it with the founding principles that you have now?
So the first principles or a founding principle, there is a time.
Okay.
Okay. It's not all about you and your passion alone in building businesses.
Right.
The market keeps moving.
Correct.
Market forces changes
Right.
based on every entrant entering, exiting the market.
Correct.
If you just visualize a big global market,
Mhm.
every new innovation, every policy from a geopolitical point of view, social constructs that are changing,
Mhm.
behaviors from the consumers which are impacted by
Yeah.
various innovations. And
Mhm.
for example, AI is now nobody can ignore talking about it at least 5 times, 10 times in a day.
Right.
So that's how the power of impact, right?
Mhm.
So it is not that we would do always something new and different that suits the current context and the future context, then trying to go back and
Evaluate. Yeah.
bring the old stuff.
Right.
Once the time is past, the context has changed. Staying in the old context is a failure, is a
Right.
fallacy.
Right.
Okay, you should not stay there. You should move on.
Does that happen too often? Like founders coming to you with an idea and you being like, you're too late to the party, or like, this is probably too early.
So some of the founders who have been contemplating, deliberating
Uh-huh.
whether to enter and solve it, they on the sidelines, sitting on the fence, watching it for very long.
Correct.
So this makes them think that, okay, I've been watching this for last 6 months.
Yeah.
For 1 year, nothing has
Hmm.
shifted.
Right.
I can take another year to do it.
Right.
That's a wrong approach.
True.
Okay. If they spot a
Mhm.
opportunity, then it is as early as possible, they should jump, solve it.
Mhm.
That's a builder mindset that is required
Right.
and grow that market.
Got it.
So if they say that I'll come, the context will remain for another 1 year,
Right.
then it is a big
Fallacy.
risk that they are taking for themselves.
Right.
It may be as it is, there can be one new entrant can change the whole game
Right.
equation in that market.
Right.
Let it be you, then leaving that to somebody else.
Right.
If you really the conviction has been built, or whatever required for you to build that conviction, factual information, research and proof and evidence, if you could get that, then jump and do it.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't keep deliberating and talking about it will be there for next 5 years, 10 years. Regulations will come,
Right.
all those.
Yeah. So you came up with examples for, say, like, hot areas which you cannot ignore talking about, like AI, right? What are some of the what's on the opposite side? Like, what do you not recommend founders to get into now? Because we're past
Okay.
that point. Yeah.
So the internet commerce, mobility,
Right.
travel tech. So they were like broad themes, right? So these narratives, more than themes, narratives comes from the people who are always want to stay ahead of the market.
Correct.
Especially the people who are bringing the capital into the market, private capital market, not the public capital market. They want to catch the high potential success entrepreneurs as early as in the game.
Correct.
So they give the narratives. Like YC gives narratives what they want to see in 2025. Today also I read one that was circulating online. So every year, this is what at a macro level things are happening.
Right.
Big forces that is trying to change the landscape.
Right.
So they would expect certain things. Anything outside that, okay, which is market share has been established,
Right.
conquered,
Yeah.
and there is a lot of protection.
Right.
Like somebody is having a great defensible moat. You can't go and say that I would change it, because to really battle or like take up a war or do a war with or compete with them, you need the same amount of. If somebody says IBM is doing it, there are definitely hope, confidence saying that I can do whatever IBM is doing with the new technologies. But they're going to defend their space.
Correct.
So you need same amount of resources to open the market or shift the market, change the customer behavior and get them to use your product. The switchover cost for someone to competing in a well-established areas, subcategories or categories is going to be tough.
Yeah.
So we always, when we talk to the founders, we ask them how you are going to get your first 100 customers.
Right.
If there is a clarity and there is a workable model, then there is a snowball effect, compounding effect, all those things we can talk about.
Right.
If you do not know how you first pay 100 or 10 based on the value that you would capture, then it is not advisable to go and pick up.
Makes sense.
With which is a established conquered spaces.
Correct.
Or if the space has to be expanded with different kind of reasons.
Got it. Yeah.
So that's why we talk about there are so many working in the design, but the working design in the market might leave a problem. Because of that, there is a frustration in the market.
Right.
You have to solve that, but when you solve it, you will create another space for yourself. Let's do that.
Yeah, makes sense.
So Web3 founders are advised to solve Web2 problems, but a lot of times they'll come with problems that's not a problem at all.
Not right now, at least.
Not the immediate problem. So therefore, they have to qualitatively, quantitatively say that this is a problem and I can prove it. 1,000 people have given this sentiment on the social media that this is a problem that they want to get solved.
Right.
Then there is a market.
You mentioned that you help Web3 founders identify Web2 problems that currently exist in the market to go after them first. What are examples of such problems?
Okay. So finding out a right problem is itself a skill.
Yeah.
It's that's a vision that you need to have as a founder. So a lot of times the system that is working perfectly, people are maybe leaving with the problem.
Right.
Okay, if you go and tell this is a problem, why are you leaving with? Nobody are going to listen.
Right.
Okay, so there would be signals for you to pick up. People are ready to like get rid of that problem.
Right.
For example, payments.
Hmm.
Let's take a payments industry. The banking, financial messaging systems, card rails is there for such a long time.
Right.
People became comfortable to live with the problem that I have to shell out 5% of my transaction value to the infrastructure company, which is helping me to pay or collect the money.
Got it.
Okay. But why 5%? Nobody questioned.
Right. Right.
Okay. So now, if you have to solve this problem, you should have the systems would have matured. The infrastructure would have matured. Now, the state of crypto is stablecoin transaction are 0.01 cent.
Right.
Any value of transaction, infrastructure cost. Mathematically, technically proven. When $200 billion worth of stable coins are in circulation, 30 trillion worth of transaction it has facilitated happening around the globe last year.
Nice.
It's a product market fitment for stablecoin. This comes from A16Z research. Now, if you go and solve the payment problem using that infrastructure, this is the best time to solve it.
Yeah.
Okay, there is people are going to now say that my other customers are paying nothing to do this
Why am I paying
international.
5%?
Why I'm paying 5%? Why I'm charged 4%?
Right. Right.
So things are going to suddenly open up for you,
Makes sense.
and you have to be here taking your market share and building a business.
Yeah.
That can have a like potential great exit for yourself and your investors.
Got it. Got it. What are some of the other sectors that companies that are in your portfolio?
Okay, so my 14 years of career in corporate industry was with large multinational banks.
What was
So my first 5-6 years of career in the tech industry, IT industry, when I entered as a programmer, I did ATM software, cards, debit card, credit card, POS software, online banking, mobile banking software.
Nice.
Then I did modernization of branch banking systems, core banking systems, asset management, portfolio management. Last 7 years of my corporate career, I was doing trade lifecycle management systems for capital market industry. This is for private investment banking.
Nice.
Okay, so FX, commodity, derivatives, cash equities, how hedge funds and how large treasuries are using the private banks services to manage their money. So this was my 14 years of day in, day out for living I was doing, right? So I deeply understand that banking and financial industry,
Right.
like very well, like my back of the hand. So I can talk like with any banker, very like on a comfortably like how we are having conversation, because banking industry once they use tech as their competitive advantage or a mode. Now it's not there. There are a lot of commoditization has happened in it.
True.
So most of our portfolio companies, or more than 50%, are from financial industry.
Okay.
Okay. The rest of them are from media and entertainment industry. Some of them, the new applications that we have received are even coming from healthcare.
Nice.
Real estate, but mostly it is asset, wealth management, fund management, portfolio management, something to deal with money.
Right. Right.
If there is no journey in it, which is not managing the money or risk of handling money or value, we don't think we are the best people to help them. So when we see that is so core to the success of the venture, success of the product, we pick them and work with them.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And like, can you give me some examples of what the journey has been like for some of the companies who have made use of the venture studio?
So a founder who was in similar like me, worked for a credit business,
Okay.
private credit. He started his team in a location where he actually had his career, not from his home location. So he picked up team in that location, but he was unable to really deliver what the customers are asking because there were a lot of challenges with the tech stack, product stack. So when the founder came and we get mostly introduced by their investors.
Okay.
So they're early stage investors who see their founders are going through a struggle.
Right.
They say that you take help of this company.
Yeah.
This is not a typical service providing. They are like they will act like your co-founders. Go to them. Their investor introduced us. So we supported that, and today they have $70 million assets under management.
Wow.
Okay, so they are a small team, very efficient, well optimized. The optimization came from some of the contributions that we have done. We are not saying we are the only reason for it,
Right.
but the way we operate with them as a partner, without any kind of just for the sake of billing, that they enjoy saying that they challenge us.
Right.
If you go to them, they are not going to do just your statement of work. They're going to ask you why we have to do this.
Yeah.
Is it going to impact your P&L?
Yeah.
How it's going to impact your top line, bottom line? How much of this will increase retention in your customer?
Correct.
How much more income that? So all kinds of questions, critical things like a founder would have otherwise asked.
Right.
We ask as their partners and make them happen there.
Nice. Nice.
So that's how things work.
So let's switch gears now, Yuvraj. Let's talk about your personal motivations, right? Like, what gave you the motivation to start a preneur of your own, or what to be an entrepreneur?
Okay. So everyone, if you go and ask someone, do you have an idea to do a business? They will say, yes, I have 100 ideas too.
Right.
They will always say that I will do better than the other person who's actually doing it.
True. True.
And they'll have so many reasons to say, okay, if I'm in that place, I will do better than him as a third party.
Correct.
So everyone has a business idea, but they did not venture out and do it. When I ventured out, the motivation was in 2012-13. There was always a urge. During my school days, everybody will have some cliche stories like that. I was always a more motivated and curious to double the value, increase the value of my time, increase my value of my effort. Always I want to get more from what myself, more out of what I do.
Right.
That was there in the, I would call it as a genetic, or it is given by someone during my formative years.
Right.
Okay. So that is important. When I came out and said that I, as a person, can actually deliver enormous value to the stakeholders, society, then what is the fun in wasting that time doing 9 to 5?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I later learned about all this regret minimizing framework and everything. I did not know all this when I
But
came.
nicely put, you understood the core idea. Yeah.
So I'm doing something of small that is not me. I have to come out and do something great, 10x, 100x out of my time and my effort and intelligence and skill and all that we have gained. So then that's the path to take for an exponential growth, exponential value creation. Only failures will occur, failures will keep happening as long as you get one thing right 100%.
Right.
Till then, you have to keep refining you.
Correct.
With your stakeholder and the market and every context. That is keep on changing.
Yeah.
You should be such a dynamic person.
Yeah.
Then there is so much of opportunities. Then what typical slow lane path people always take.
Nice.
Yeah.
Put very well. So Yuvraj, your job must require you to be on top of, trends in various industries, right? So I would imagine that you would have a lot of reading and a lot of personal media consumption that has to be carefully monitored in order to be on top of those things. What's your media consumption pattern like? What do you read? What do you watch?
Okay, so where we plug ourselves and where we do not put our time into is very critical. Very
Correct.
good question.
Hmm.
So I'm a reader. I'm
Hmm.
a perpetual learner, reader. So my Kindle is
Hmm.
always there.
Hmm.
So Audible is always on.
Yeah.
So in my car, as soon as I enter. So through audiobooks, through ebooks, I consume a lot of management, leadership, philosophy, psychology books.
Right.
To keep yourself abreast
Hmm.
about various industry, there are certain fundamental models, frameworks that is applied in terms of commercial success by all the industries.
Hmm.
If you study all the CEOs,
Hmm.
all the industry which has Jim Collins, good to great, good
Hmm.
to how to build a long-lasting companies from very small startup to a multinational
Hmm.
conglomerates.
Hmm.
There are certain things that is common.
Right.
Once you understood the common things, other things that require to change
Hmm.
is the only thing you need to comparatively understand.
Understood. Yeah. Templates.
Templates.
Hmm.
So the vertical and horizontal,
Hmm.
you should know what is vertically the pillars of any company build or venture building. That's called venture builder, right? When you upgrade yourself from just a CTO or a CPO to venture builder is about what are those must have pillars that you should lay down,
Hmm.
foundation that should be there for any business. Then you can always experiment with certain things
Correct.
that is according to the new industry patterns.
Okay.
So
Okay.
by this you can learn at least more than one industry,
Hmm.
but you cannot become expert in all industries.
Hmm.
If somebody comes and asks how to run a media company, I would definitely say I do not know.
Right.
So that's not
Your
me
core area of
core
expertise.
areas. We say we do not know. If you know,
Hmm.
if you're confident,
Hmm.
then whatever we could do
Right.
together in synergy with it, we will do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right. What's the future roadmap for Creatorverse and for
So
you,
in
Yuvraj?
25, we are in the beginning of 2025. We
Hmm.
definitely have switched gears
Hmm.
and we are now more uh, taking like information from
Hmm.
venture capital industry. We
Hmm.
know that after 3 years of crypto winter, after 3 years of funding winter, now people are waiting for great founders to build great companies.
Nice.
This is a very ripe moment, time, but their capital, venture capital market or early stage investment
Hmm.
market space
Hmm.
is really looking forward to have the gems. So we are working with them.
Hmm.
So we are partnering with a lot of early stage capital providers, asking them what are the things you want to have in your, what kind of companies you want to have in your portfolio.
Nice.
Okay. So, and as we already spoken about the themes, already we have spoken about narratives. So we try to build and curate a portfolio that can yield
Hmm.
uh, better than anything that earlier they had.
Hmm.
So we want to, as a venture studio, there is a research that we can deliver 30% more success when they work with us
Hmm.
than they're trying to do discover and get referrals and
Makes
do it
sense.
themselves. So
Right.
our channel can give them more success rate then. That's the 2025 roadmap.
Hmm.
So we have 10 to 15 companies to add
Nice.
into the portfolio
Hmm.
and give them the resources that they want to build a companies that will go global.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And how can these companies reach out to you, Yuvraj?
So I'm active on LinkedIn, Twitter, and there are our website where I have a contact us button, book an appointment. So it's very simple, straightforward. They come to our website, book an appointment, they can talk to me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. This has been a very engaging conversation, Yuvraj.
Thank you.
Looking
Thank you,
forward to the
Ankit.
next episode. Yeah.
Totally appreciate it. Thanks for having me again and giving this opportunity to talk about Creataverse and myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.